Hello everybody. I wanted to look good today and then it rained outside, so my makeup is done, but my hair is frizzy. Anyways, today's video is going to be my 2023 resolutions because, well, it's 2023 and originally this was going to go up in January, but I was in Japan, so I was doing other things. Now I have a bit of time before I go to Thailand, and I'm going to be in Thailand for a little bit before I come back to Korea to continue my study abroad program. So I'm trying to get these videos out so that I don't have to think about it while I'm in Thailand. Anyway, February, it's a little bit late, but it's never too late to set resolutions. Resolutions don't have to be a New Year's thing, and they don't have to last a whole year. I'm trying to make mine last a whole year, but that's on me. So whenever you feel the need to set a resolution, go for it. And resolutions are more kind of goals rather than standards, if that makes sense. It's something you try at rather than something that you either succeed or fail at. So you can keep working and you can have bad days and whatnot. I think the idea of resolutions has kind of become a little bit toxic, so keep in mind that my idea of a resolution is just something to work towards. Last year, one of my resolutions was to go on mini solo adventures, and I did that. In fact, I may have solo adventured too close to the sun and ended up in a different country. I'm now in South Korea by myself. I went to Japan. Originally I was going to be by myself and I ended up going with someone else, but still, that's the most I've ever done traveling wise by myself, and I don't think I could have done that without the training I put myself through in early 2022. This year, starting out strong. There was the Japan trip in January. I guess that was in January, not in 2022. So starting out strong with the Japan trip. In February, I'm going to Thailand. Hopefully March/April/May, I'll be visiting the Philippines and Vietnam and maybe a few other places, but I'm not positive yet. And then eventually when the study abroad program is done and I go back home, I will continue with my mini adventures, potentially making them a little bit more, or just keeping them really small in my community and going to places that I haven't been to before, because there are a few places around Tucson that I just haven't been. My next resolution is to read 100 books. I read quite a few books last year. I don't remember the exact number. I'll put it somewhere. And I keep track of all of my books on the Story Graph, which is a website that's kind of like Goodreads, only better. Keeps track of your reading. It has stats, which are my favorite part. And I want to read 100 books this year because last year I read a lot of books and I want to keep that going. Whether it's 100 or less than 100, setting the bar there makes me want to read more in order to reach that goal. And I'm also trying to read books that I wouldn't normally read. So I have a list of 1,000 books to read before you die, which I'm working my way through very slowly. The Story Graph itself has a lot of reading challenges that challenge me to read books that I wouldn't necessarily choose by myself. The Kindle app has some reading challenges that come out every month. Most of them are ads for buying more Kindle books, but I don't necessarily have a library right now because I'm in South Korea, so that works out for me and it forces me to read newer books or books that I wouldn't necessarily read. And then I'm also trying to read more books off of my shelf without having to buy them. So all of those put together make up my 100 books. And I already have the list of 100 books that I've taken out of my to-read list because I'm trying to make my to-read list go down. But I took 100 books off my list and I've already added in February 100 more books to that list, so I don't think my to-read list is going to go down anytime soon. But we're gonna work on it. Number 3 is to get more active. I noticed that in 2018 to 2020, I was walking a lot because it was my job, and in order to de-stress from my job, which was walking around a store, I would walk around outside. And I hate to say it, but the stupid walks for the stupid mental health, they actually work. And I'm living in a tiny goshiwon, which is the perfect size for me. If I were to turn this into a house, there are only a few things that I would add. Maybe a microwave, a stovetop, and a washer and dryer. But other than that, this is a great size and I really do enjoy it. But I only have this one window that looks into a hallway, so I'm not getting a lot of light. And one of the things I noticed early in the winter is that when I didn't go out because it was under freezing, it was below freezing, I would feel sad. So my goal for this year, to prevent that and hopefully to make it a habit, is to walk more. So go hiking or just walk around the block. In preparation, or I guess to further this resolution, I've taken on a Conqueror challenge. I can leave the link down below. It costs money, but you can do the same thing without money. But I've set my goal for walking this year to be 2,023 miles for the year 2023. I don't know. Right now I've changed it into kilometers, not 2,023 kilometers because that's a shorter distance, but because everything here is in kilometers, all of the distances are in kilometers. I've converted everything from miles to kilometers so that I don't have to do the conversion in my head. It's easier this way. So I got a little bit behind, I think in the beginning of the year when I was planning on going to Japan, and there were some Japan days when we were traveling, so I didn't walk as much. So about now I need to walk 9 kilometers a day, and I've been working on that. I'm sure if you watch my vlogs, you'll see that I've been actively trying to get those 9 kilometers in every day. I have a walk route that's about 6.3 kilometers, and then I walk to cafe and I sit there for studying for hours and hours. Today was almost 5 hours. And then I grab lunch or dinner or whatever time it is, that meal, and then I walk a half block around, like the longest way possible to get back. And that's normally my 9 kilometers for the day. I think today I did 10 kilometers, but that's because I was going to go to one restaurant, but they were on their lunch break, or they were on a break, and there was already a line for them to get off their break, and I decided I didn't want to do that. So then I walked back down, got a different one, and then went back up, and then went around. I'm sure if someone was following me, they'd be like, what on earth is this person doing? I don't know. I'm getting my steps in. I'm moving around. It's making me feel better. So that's my resolution, to walk more, and so far it's going well. And when it gets warmer, I will start going on hikes again. There's a few places I want to go. Suwon, outside of Seoul, has a lot of good hikes. Bukhansan is beautiful, and I want to go there again in the spring this time. And then there's a hike that goes around Seoul along the city wall, and I really want to try that. Pieces at a time. I can't do the whole thing in one go, but I would like to try that just to see where it is. It's closer to where I am than Bukhansan or Suwon, so it's an accessible hike. Number 4, I want to start selling jewelry that I make. I don't have any here because I'm in Korea, but before I left, I made about 50 pieces of jewelry. I don't have any photos of them. I'm not entirely sure why, but I want to start selling that. So if you see this and it's around August, DM me or something asking about that jewelry. I'm going to try to sell it. I think each piece will be about $20 because that would cover the cost of the materials, the cost of the time that I've put into making the thing, and the shipping cost and the packaging cost. So I think that $20 goes into all of that, and I think it's a reasonable price based off of comparable objects, comparable things, comparable jewelry. But I want to try doing that because I make earrings and jewelry, but I don't even have my ears pierced, and I don't wear jewelry other than my ring. So it's just something that I like making and doing, and I need somewhere for all of these things to go because otherwise they're going to clutter up where I live, and I don't even use the things. So that's my goal for this year. I'd like to start doing that. And my 5th resolution for this year is to continue studying Korean. Now, I live in Korea. You'd think I'd be getting better at Korean. If anything, I think I'm getting worse at English. I'm not entirely positive I'm getting better at Korean. I'm getting better at understanding. I don't think I'm getting better at speaking Korean, and that's something I'd like to improve. So one of the ways I'm going to go about that is to have a designated day of the week where all I do is speak in Korean. When I go to order food, I don't change the kiosk language to English. I do it all in Korean. Instead of listening to English podcasts, I found a few Korean podcasts that I'll listen to. I'll watch Korean dramas and turn off the subtitles, or turn on the Korean subtitles on English dramas or animes. Just fully immerse myself in the Korean and vlog along the way so that I have, the auditory part of it where I'm actually speaking. I think that'll really help. And I think it'll help if I go out and do things where I need to talk to people in Korean, because then I get immediate feedback on my Korean, hopefully. A lot of the times I'll speak in Korean and the people I'm speaking to will speak broken English back at me, which makes me think my Korean was worse than their English. Not that I'm saying their English is bad, it's just not fluent. Like, I'm not expecting them to be fluent, but it's probably more fluent than my Korean, so I'd like to get better at that. So those are my resolutions and the steps that I'm taking to reach those resolutions. If you've made any resolutions or goals, or you have your smash or pass list, or whatever was going around, I think it was so-and-so is out and so-and-so is in. If you have any of those, let me know in the comments down below. If you have any questions about mine, let me know, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!